I mean, I'm just grateful that finally, compared to 6 years ago, we were wrestling on hard mats and wrestling at shady, stinky gym halls and selling like 100, 150 in attendance with the tickets. And now it's kind of like 4, 5, 6, 7,000 people that want to go to a wrestling event.
Welcome back to Grapple Theory. Thanks so much for joining us once again. And we're off to Scandinavia once again for another interview. And our guest this week is El Guapo, Carlos Zamora. Carlos, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. How have you been?
I've been so good. I mean, this season has been so fantastic. 2024 couldn't be better.
Well, that is normally how we lead in on the podcast. We always start by asking our guests how the last sort of year, 12 months has been. So even going back to like the back end of 2023, how have the last 12 months been for you, for Carlos Zamora?
I mean, it's been a roller coaster for I lost the 2 belts that I had at Body Slam and in NEW Nordic Elite, but I mean, I feel like at the top of the food chain for sure. And you can't stay hot forever. So, but I feel like I'm pushing myself. I'm performing, working against guys with high caliber, such as Tate Mayfierce and Mark Haskins. So I can't complain.
I was going to say, we're like, just as we're recording, we're coming off like the back of that match you had with Haskins. How was that?
Oh, it was special. I really could feel the caliber of Mark Haskins. I mean, great guy backstage, and I always learn something new with these guys from the UK who have tons of experience, and I always kind of like SpongeBob myself with their wisdom and how they work and their moveset and why, and the basic structure of a match, and so to speak. And I could go on forever, but really grateful for all these matches that I've been having.
And it's nice, I imagine, like in terms of, again, as someone who's watched you a lot and thinks you're extremely talented and really good in yourself, but like in being able to like go to like toe to toe with guys like that must be a nice like sort of like validating feeling as well, being like, okay, I'm doing something right, I'm on the right track, because I can hold my own in these matches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always a good pleasure or a good opportunity to showcase what the Scandi scene can bring to the table against the guy who's been wrestling in Madison Square Garden in front of 20,000 people. And you got guys like Tate Mayfierce, who's really in my head, he's like the Joker, and we're kind of like connected right now because I feel like I'm the Batman and he's the Joker, and it keeps going and going. I need him, he needs me. Who knows?
I like that analogy. Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's a good analogy for it. I think Tate is very much a Joker type, isn't he? I think like he's the one that you love to hate, but you do in the end want to see him get his comeuppance.
Yeah. I mean, great guy as well, a great performer. I like his mindset, and I mean, we're not supposed to do kayfabe, but when structuring the match with him, it's like he's like Beethoven. When I talk to him, he kind of talks halfway with me, and then he does this motion with his eyes and his hands, and I can't really follow. So I'm just trying to keep up with what he really wants in the match, and and Tate is just like a mad scientist, but a great guy.
He is. Yeah, we've had people say that about him. We've not had so many people say he's a great guy, again, because he's a bit of a dick. But again, he's the guy you love to hate, don't you? He's the guy you love to boot out the building.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. I mean, the thing is, you either you have that X factor to make you hate. I mean, to make people hate you, or you just don't. So I can learn a lot from guys like him as well.
For sure. And I mean, like, there's something you mentioned there that I wanted to pick up on, because we're going to talk about like the Scandi scene in a sec. But like, I think the Scandi scene, as we said before, before recording, is a scene that's been up and coming. It's starting to grow. It's starting to get that traction, and more people are starting to notice it. But especially sort of like the last few years, as a ScandiGraps wrestler, when imports are coming over, or when like you're coming over to the UK, is there that that like almost chip on your shoulder type thing, whereby you're like, I'm from this scene that's relatively speaking in Europe a little more unknown. I've got to prove myself that extra bit more, that this scene and me and the people like that I'm representing can be part of this and can be bigger.
Yeah, I mean, like a few years ago, I mean, I'm talking 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, I used to go to the UK scene, and at first, you know, there's a chip on your shoulder for sure. I mean, who's this guy from Denmark, you know? And the thing is, let's just be honest. I'm very how do you say, geographically, I don't have my advantages, because in the UK wrestling is a lot bigger than in Scandinavia. So for me to go to the UK scene and make my name, at first it was all the slangs that I had to get used to, especially in Liverpool, and how they would say certain things, like when they strike, they say pop. And I had to get to know all these new terms of what to do in a wrestling ring. But I mean, I'm just very fortunate that guys like Dan Evans, who is from Northwest area, that he brought me in. You saw the talent, and he was the same guy who's friends with Zach Gibson, who kind of discovered me back in 2018-19, before the Corona. That I worked with these guys at a boot camp in Denmark. So for me to have grown so much by Dan's brilliance and his openness for me to come to Liverpool, and you know, the surroundings in Liverpool, to come and perform, I'm very grateful for this guy to bring.
Yeah, sure. Like, I was going to say that's really interesting, because again, like I remember you coming over here. Then, like, it's interesting to hear you say like that coming over had that big of an impact on you, and like sort of like how you sort of like who you became after that.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of media talks on Twitter and Instagram about El Guapo this or El Guapo that, but I only covered, you know, northwest of England. But I had a great run, and then after the Corona, there was a lot of shows in Scandinavia, so I had to not go as often to UK as I would normally do before the Corona and during the Corona. But I really miss the UK scene. I miss the guys that I've met there and spent time with. So, but there's some plannings going on to go back to England again very soon.
I love that. I love it. I was about to ask you when are we going to see you back?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything unless it's really planned at this point. At the Scandinavian scene, and also the European scene, as far as now.
No, sure. And that's the thing as well, though. You mentioned again, like, you sort of like after Corona, there being sort of like more shows, more work for you in like the Scandi scene, and so not being able to come over to the UK as much. But like that's a good thing for the scene, right? It's a great thing that there are that many shows now, that there are that many promotions, that there are that many opportunities now for wrestlers in Scandinavia to sort of make a name and learn their craft and build what they can do before going elsewhere, or before getting that opportunity to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a ton of new cool things by going to the UK, and with all these guys that I work with and traveling with Dan Evans, I kind of learned to grow myself, going to various promotions and work a match with this guy, work a match with this lady or whoever they put in front of me, because it's always a new task to do a great match. At the same time, you have to kind of go through that language barrier, because it is English, but there's a lot of slang. So I'm kind of like open ears. What he say? And you know, the British are known to structure their matches very, very fast. So I got the hang of it at the end.
Well, that's good. That's good. Was there any like particular like English slang like that you like really enjoyed, that you were like, oh, I like that, I might use that? Like no one will know what I mean back home, but like I'll like it.
I can't really remember, but for sure when you're in Liverpool, you know, the Scouse, it kind of messes with your head, because it's their language, but obviously they have English. But for me, I'm just like my English is just from the school and from the movies that I see. And as soon as I go to Liverpool, they all do Scouse, and they do all these terms, you melon, and you know, I'm like, what are you saying? I mean, but eventually you get used to it, so you would understand what they're saying. But it's very thick sometimes. But no disrespect to Liverpool, there's been a lot of great guys over there that I've met. So I can't say nothing than thank you to the promotions that I work with, Wrestle Island and some others. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. But in terms of then, like, again, like, sort of going back to the Scandi scene after that, I mean, it's, and for wrestlers coming through, it's got to be nice now that there are so many more opportunities in Scandinavia now, wrestling wise, where I think, like, again, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like at least now there's opportunities where wrestlers can work like almost every weekend in a month, or like 3 or 4 times a month, like getting those weekend reps where you don't need to necessarily have that crutch of, oh, I need to go to the UK, I need to go to Europe, to the mainland to hone my craft, because you can just stay there and have a good scene and have a decent run at it.
That is true. I mean, like if I had the if I wasn't so handcuffed with my work back here in Denmark, I could have been wrestling much more in the UK scene for sure. I mean, like if I wanted to, I could kind of pursue to wrestle in the UK, but there's also been opening so many doors for Scandinavian to places like Germany, Poland, Hungary.
So yeah, no, I mean, again, it's fantastic what's happening in Scandinavia. Like, it must be really thrilling, like really heartwarming when you're out at shows like you mentioned, like Nordic, like Body Slam, places you're at a lot, where you see the crowds growing, where you can see more and more numbers coming. Like, you guys are getting big crowds over there now, like some really big shows. That must be really, like, again, almost like really validating of like, oh, like shit, whatever we're doing, the people like it, people are coming, more people are taking notice of us.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. I mean, as I said, this year we've been hitting all the most important festivals, and it's kind of mind blowing that the Danish crowd have taken us in and accepted this kind of, you know, culture, this little niche, to be something bigger than we expected. I mean, it's kind of combined with, you know, pre-game when you want to drink some beers and have a good giggle, and then you want to go out for a party. So you go to wrestling events. I mean, there's going to be casuals, but also there will be hardcore fans that want to follow the story. And at this point right now, I only see 2 promotions in Denmark right now, which is Body Slam and Nordic Elite, who's trying to top one another all the time, even though we're good friends. We always have that respect towards each other. But also with the media coverage, it's unbelievable that we go on national TV and we get validated with these with these how do you say these programs, so to speak, on TV. I mean, I'm just grateful that finally, compared to 6 years ago, we were wrestling on hard mats and wrestling at shady, stinky gym halls and selling like 100, 150 in attendance with the tickets. And now it's kind of like 4, 5, 6, 7,000 people that want to go to a wrestling event.
Yeah, which is awesome. Like again, and I think it's the same with no matter where you are. I think like even in the UK, there's promotions that will like start and be like, oh, like 100 is really good, 200 is really good. Like, oh, we'll never get to like 1,000. But like then again, like you guys, like you've gone through those stages. 100 people, 200 people. It's like slow building, and then to be getting like you say 700, 800, 1,000 people, like that's crazy. That's got to be like a real like holy shit moment. Like we're doing something right.
Definitely. I mean, it's not only all the shows, it's also the house shows and all the bachelor parties that we're doing right now, all the special events, all the national TV things that we're doing right now. That is, a lot of fun. And in the middle of everything, like Madison Morgan is getting all the damn attention right now. I mean, little Madison, but I kind of, I praise her every day, and she works hard for everything that she got. And who wouldn't want to see Madison on national TV, because she's only 17, and she draws a lot of teenage fans, and our demographic, our people are, from the teenagers up till mid 30s. So it's perfect for her to be kind of a front figure for this kind of culture that we have.
Sure, absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it, as well? Like the thing I've noticed a lot with like the Scandi scene, especially from just other wrestlers and people we've spoken to, is the fact that like you guys are all like, again, like you all want to get there, you all want to like sort of get to the top and be at the top, but you all lift each other up as well. Like everyone wants everyone else to succeed, everyone else is happy for everyone else's success, which is really nice and really heartwarming.
Yeah, definitely. I can only say that guys like Madison and guys like Emilian Lewis, who is the current Nordic Elite Wrestling champion, I've seen them, and they go and train very hard, and they're active on social media. They go to these places like WXW, they go to these places like the UK, they go travel all around Europe, and they pay their dues. And I mean, why not them? I mean, why not Madison to be the new front figure of wrestling on national TV? Why not them?
Yeah. What about Carlos Zamora? Then bring it back to, because again, you've had, like you say, you've had a great year. Obviously, again, a few months ago, you won the ScandiGraps Invitational at Body Slam. Huge moment. I think that was like, that seemed like a really cool thing for you as well. I think it was like a really nice. Like a really nice culmination of a story, in the fact that, like, obviously you were with Emilian and Aliss in the final of the tournament, and Aliss is the one who beat you. Was it 2021 to win ScandiGraps as well?
During the Corona, where it kind of opened up and then it closed. But yeah, I was in the finals with Aliss, and it was a special moment.
Yeah. So you were in the finals there with her, and she won it that time. It must have been nice for you to, like, again, sort of almost like close up that full circle 3 years later and beat her as well to win ScandiGraps.
Yeah, but we still got a rubber match that we have to finish. So this one at the ScandiGraps final, it was what was it called, a triple threat match. So it wasn't really the rubber match that I was hoping for, but it was fun to work with her and Emilian Lewis at the same time. I guess Body Slam, they just wanted something different this year to have a little, chaos, and all of a sudden there's 3 people in the final.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I mean, for me, ScandiGraps Invitational, it was one for the bucket list.
I was going to say, you'd already held the title. It must have been nice to check that off your list as well, to like finally get that moment, because it seemed like, again, 2021 you came close, and it seemed like you just sort of like it seemed like you were just waiting for that moment, like as in, especially as watching you as a fan, I was like, would this be Carlos's year? Like, would this be your year?
Yeah, what happened last year was I was supposed to be at the ScandiGraps Invitational, but at the same time I got a very great offer to go and perform in Dubai. So that's just one of the things when you get like an opportunity like that, you can't really say no to that, because if I go different places around, you know, Europe or in the world, my value is going up because I've been to these places. So why not take that opportunity? I mean, my home base is Denmark, Copenhagen. So Body Slam and Nordic Elite, I will always have a home right there.
Absolutely. But that's the thing, isn't it? Like you say, you can't turn down those opportunities. So to then lose it in 21, not be there for last year, it must have been really nice to finally get your hands on it, to finally be like, yes, I've done it.
Yeah. I mean, like it kind of sucked to say, hey, I got to go to Dubai because, you know, it's kind of a headache for the promoter and the booker. But as I said, it's one of those rare opportunities that you got to take regardless. So, yeah, it is what it is.
No, sure. And again, like you mentioned that like the rubber match you want with Aliss, because it seems like, again, it feels like you guys have had a rivalry without even really facing each other that much. It feels like you've both been at this stage where, like, for again, like the last sort of like 3 or 4 years, you've both been vying to like be the top dog in like not like ScandiGraps as a whole, but also like as a whole, but mainly in Body Slam. And yet you haven't actually faced off that much. It just seems like there's that rivalry there without you even facing each other a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have this rubber match against her, it would be at the right time, I guess, with the right conditions and everything. I don't think and the right build up. So I don't know what they have in store in Body Slam for us, but for right now, they are hosting a show in February 2025 with 2,000 in attendance. So this kind of cool. Let's see what
that seems like I know you said it's got to be the right time. That seems like the place you want to do it, though. That seems like the place it should happen.
Maybe, but there's also other opportunities like Robbie X is coming and Axel Tischer and some other top dogs. So let's see what they have in mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, isn't it? It's like really exciting. Just there's so much to build to as well, like in terms of not just we're doing like a monthly show or a show every couple of months. It's just your average show. Like you're building to big shows now. Like these are big events that you guys are building to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, I love it. And again, like obviously, I'm sure whenever, whether it's in February or any other time, I'm sure whenever you have that rubber match, you'll win though, right? You'll beat Aliss. You'll get the 2-1.
I might do, but let's see what's at stake first. I mean, I don't want the rubber match to just be a regular match. I want it to be, you know, for her women's title. So maybe I could be the Body Slam women's champion.
I think it'll look good on you. Yeah, I think you can pull it off.
Yeah. I could be instead of Carlos, I could be Carla.
I was going to say Carla. Yeah, that works better, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, why not? If she can win the men's title, maybe I could win the women's title. Exactly. Hey, Body Slam, book that.
Yeah, exactly. Make it happen. Like if you guys are watching, you better be watching. Make it happen.
Yeah.
I was going to say, obviously, you had that match as well for the men's title as well after winning ScandiGraps with Peter Alexander. How was that like? Because he's another guy who's really rising the ranks at the minute, like really coming through strong.
He's annoying. I'm telling you, this guy is annoying. The Book of Truth, when we had that match, I took his book and I ripped the page off and ate it. It tasted like shit. There's nothing in it. I mean, man, he's a bad cat, and he got his 4 other guys ringside always. So yeah, they call themselves Collapse. So they're collapsing everything. But payment is due, and one day they will fall.
Yeah.
But much respect to Peter Alexander and Collapse for making an impact.
Yeah, that's what they do, isn't it? Exactly. They're dastardly. They're mean. They do it the wrong way, but they get the results. And like it's annoying, isn't it? Like, because there's a small part of you that's got to respect that they get the results, but you don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, I was like that a couple of years ago. I was a heel as well, so I had to do what I had to do. But yeah, I did it by myself. But this is different. I mean, like it's always against a lot of other wrestlers at the same time. But it is what it is.
Yeah, sure. Well, that leads us in nicely to our first little fun feature we've got here on the show. And we've spoken a lot about the good of the ScandiGraps scene. Now we're going to speak about some of the bad, because this feature is called Dishing the Dirt. And I'm going to give you some questions, and I want you to let me know which member of like the Nordic locker room or the Body Slam locker room or anywhere else you work most applies to each question.
All right.
So the first one is who's always running late?
All right. Who's always running late? For the shows or for training?
Oh, either, for anything.
Oh shit, that's Emilian Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always texting him, don't be late. We're starting right here at this time.
And he's never on time.
Yeah, right now he's on time because I told him, but you know, for the days that we're having shows, it's because he's working his Monday to Saturday job, so he's coming in late for the shows. But other than that, he's really good at packing things down after the show, so
makes up for it.
Yeah, it makes up for it.
Yeah, that's fair. The next one is who do you think has the worst music taste?
Madison Morgan.
Yeah.
Marley.
Really?
Madison Marley Morgan, what she calls herself.
To be fair, she's very young. I imagine it's very like, it's sort of almost like a generational thing, right? Because she's disgustingly young. Like I'm like...
No, there's a certain line where it's bad and cringy. Sometimes it becomes cringy.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah. I mean, like she's only 17, so she's
she'll grow into the better music taste.
Yeah.
The next one is my favorite on the entire list. It's who in the locker room would you under no circumstances let a family member date?
Wow, that's a hard one. Hunyadi Tamas.
Yeah. What? Why?
I can't say why.
Is it that bad?
No, it's just Hunyadi Tamas, man. He's yeah.
So, member of your family walks in with them on their arm, and you're like, no, not happening, no chance.
No. I mean, I can't tell you why. I'm saying that I'm gonna tell him, personally, but I can't say it here.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. The next one is it's sort of like the first question is who takes the longest to get ready? Again, like either for their match or maybe like leaving after a show, like always the last one in the locker room, still getting ready when everyone else is ready to go.
It's got to be Aliss Ink.
Yeah,
I think so. There's been a couple of times where she had to put a lot of makeup on, to look like a dragon. Yeah, so
it's got to be
Aliss Ink. It's got to be Aliss Ink if she kind of like dolls herself up. I don't know. I guess,
but it's worth it. Again, she makes it worth it. It's worth waiting for once you see it.
Yeah, I mean, she's TV ready when she gets out, through those curtains, and she got all that makeup and glitter. I think it's her.
I think if you win that women's championship off her, you're going to have to go for that, though. You're going to have to start with that look.
Yes, I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah. The next one is who, not in the ring, outside the ring, who has the worst dress sense?
Dress?
Yeah, like who dresses the worst?
Hunyadi Tomas.
Yeah, again.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
Is that the reason you won't let him date a family member?
Yes, part of it. I mean, it's just yeah.
What are we talking?
I mean, like he, worn out sneakers, jogging pants. He hasn't washed for 2 weeks, and it's just Hunyadi Tomas, I guess. Hunyadi Tomas,
Just the aura, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Hunyadi Tomas.
I love it. I love it. Well, the next one's on the nicer end of that. The next one is in the ring. You've forgotten your gear for a show, and you need to borrow someone's gear. And it's one size fits all. You can pick whoever you want. You can pick a guy, you can pick a girl, you can pick whoever you want. Whose gear do you look at and you're like, I could pull that off?
Okay, so I forgot all my gear,
Yeah,
or somebody stole it. Let's say somebody stole my gear.
yeah. And
I would. I actually wrestled in jeans, and it worked perfectly because it gave me a new look. But if I had to choose a performer, I would ask Michael Finn.
Yeah.
Michael Finn, yeah,
How
because
come?
he's got jeans and boots, and it's pretty simple. He's like a guy you see on GTA, Grand Theft Auto.
Sure, I like it. I like it. You wouldn't go something out there. You wouldn't go like an Alice or a Madison or like something like that.
No, I wouldn't. I couldn't fit that.
No, but it's one size fits all, so it will fit you magically no matter what.
Okay.
Would you be that daring? Would you go out there like that?
I would if the stakes were high, but then I would say Aliss Ink if in certain moments I would.
Yeah.
It would be very tight. It would kind of like remind you of a BDMS session. Something very, very extreme. But yeah, I would say Aliss Ink.
Maybe that's what you need to win that rubber match, though. Maybe that's what you need to like really freak her out. Like you come out of the ring like in like her gear, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yes, exactly, my man.
That's what you need. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
The next one is there's only a couple of. The next one is who would throw the best party? Who would throw the party that you need to be at?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What sort of party are we talking? What does Carlos Zamora do?
Let me tell you, buddy. Yeah, I would gather everybody at some place. I would structure some sort of a pre-party, downtown in Copenhagen, and then we would party at a nightclub that I would know, and it would be a great night. It would be very guapo.
Nice. Love it. I love it. Yeah, of course it would be. Of course it would.
Yeah. Only thing that really sucks is that we want to go out, but we can't after the show because we have to pack the ring and put it back at the facility. So that sucks. That's
after that though, right? After that you can go out.
Yeah, but then it's like 2 in the morning.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to finish earlier. You've got to be onto the guys being like, oh, can we finish like just a couple of hours earlier? So
yeah, I mean the shows, they normally start at 8 and finish at 10, 11. So it's kind of impossible.
Tricky. It is tricky. Well, the final one for this this feature is, I think, the most important one on the list, based on who you choose. It's who would you choose to be your partner in the zombie apocalypse?
Definitely not Hunyadi Tomas, but are we talking the like a general zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, we're talking like it's the zombie apocalypse. You got to pick a partner, but again, you can pick them for whatever you want. You can pick someone who you like, sort of like throw to the wolves, like let them attack that person while you run, or you can have someone who you'd fight side by side with. Like, it depends what you want.
I would pick Endakara.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great choice. Oh,
yeah, I would say Endakara, do it for your blood. And as soon as he would go attack, he would go Endakara. What's he's called, the Turkish assassin, and I would be the Spanish getaway boy. So yeah,
I love that. I think it's a perfect team, right? Perfect team.
Yeah, exactly.
The natural team. I love it. Well, that's brilliant. That brings an end to that feature. We've got one more feature that we'd like to close the show with. But before we get to that, again, we've spoken about your last 12 months. What about your next 12 months? What about what the future holds for Carlos Zamora? Because again, you want that rubber match with Aliss Ink. You want to be back on top I imagine title-wise in Body Slam, in Nordic, anywhere else, you know, potential for like you hinted at maybe coming back over to the UK or anywhere else. But like, what does the next year look like if we were speaking this time next year? And I'd said to you again, has it been a good year for Carlos Zamora? What would that be? What would a good next year for Carlos Zamora be for you?
I'm currently right now. I'm you know, when I was a double champ, I lost the 2 belts. I mean, like that's the nature of the beast.
Mm.
But I had to remember that nobody stays hot forever. And at this point right now, I'm just trying to reinvent myself because I just finished the Netflix series with Mr. McMahon, where they talked about Hulk Hogan. He was getting booze after 4 years of fame and everything. Nobody stays hot. So for me to stay relevant, I already got this hustle and passion and hard work and everything, but I need to be different again. I need to have that reinvention of my character again. I want to obviously I want to be number one always. That's in my mind always, and I want to have the belts. But I also need to understand that you can also be number one without having the belts. And for me to be number one in my head is to go to these different promotions, the ones I'm planning on going into England, and just go full on 100% with these promotions that I've talked to. And also with all these other promotions, just go hard on my character and stay humble and learn from all these guys who have a ton of experience. And hopefully, I mean, the main goal before Corona was NXT Europe. That is the big one. So I have no clue what's going on right now. But right now we're just focusing on, leaving the legacy for guys like Emilian Lewis and Madison Morgan and the rest of the Danish scene, Scandinavian scene. So right now it's just a fun time to be leaving something, for the next generation.
I love that. And before we get into our final picture, there's one more question I've got to ask you, because I've asked the other Scandi guys that we have on the show. So you've got to pick like your ScandiGraps dream team, all right? Like like a faction. You got to build your own faction. Like, so let's say yourself obviously is the leader. I'm going to give you three other wrestlers, 3 other ScandiGraps wrestlers. Who do you want in your faction? Who would you pick so you guys can dominate the scene?
Endakara, Aliss Ink, Hunyadi Tomas.
Yeah. Even after all the stuff you said about him.
All the shit, man. This is a roast. You shouldn't call this grapple theory. It would be roast theory. I mean, Hunyadi Tomas, because he's like a big question mark. If we went to war, I would say, Tomas, kill this guy. Let's go. And
he's the wild card. Yeah. He's the unpredictable one.
He's the unpredictable one. But yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's a good team. I'd watch that. I'd watch that team. That would be very entertaining.
But I think like Aliss Ink and Endakara and myself, because we got that martial arts background, that's pretty cool faction.
Yeah, you got like the immediate sort of like you say, like the martial arts fear factor. And then Yari is like just like the wild card in the background who you don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah. It's Hunyadi Tomas. Yeah.
Love it. Well, that does bring us on to our final feature. And again, we dished some dirt about your locker room mates, but now we're going to find out about you, about Carlos Zamora, because this feature is called Anatomy of a Pro Wrestler, and it's basically just what makes you you. So again, I'm going to give you some questions, and you let me know what comes to mind.
All right.
So the first one is what is your favorite post pinfall pig out?
Say that again. What post
pinfall pig out? So like your cheat meal after a show, like your ideal like greasy, sloppy, fast foody meal that you have after a show, like that you really crave.
I treat myself with a beer and a pizza.
Nice. What kind of pizza are we talking? Are we talking like classic pizza or like a Domino's, like a fast food pizza?
Slimy salami. If I was in Liverpool after the show, Dan would always take me to Domino's, where we would get a lot of pizza and where we get so full, and the next day we would be so ill. I mean, it would be just criminal to eat Domino's and then be so ill the next day. So yeah, a beer and some pizza.
Love it. I love it. The next one, they're not all food based. Just the first two are food based, but the next one is like the classic. Like, what would your death row last meal be?
Before a show or?
I know, like your death row last meal, like like your last meal before you die.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah. My own one. My own one.
Yeah. Oh, you make a good lasagna.
Oh yes, I do.
That seems weird though, doesn't it? Like on death row, they're like, "What do you want as your last meal?" And you're like, "I'm gonna cook. I'll cook myself. It'll be fine."
I know how to do lasagna, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be part Italian as well.
Oh, that's good. Well, we know to invite you. I've always said that, like, if I win the lottery, I'm gonna put on like the great like wrestling bake off. So like or like cook off, like cooking competition. So like I'll make sure to invite you, and we can put the lasagna to the test.
Yes, we would. Yes, we would.
I like it. I like any sides, garlic bread or like.
No, just Pepsi.
Yeah.
Pepsi Max.
Just lasagna and Pepsi. That's all you need.
All I need, and a big screen and some PlayStation or Xbox.
I think that's good as well. I think that's a good choice as well. I got to get your thoughts on this though, because you mentioned lasagna. So I'm sure you're aware of him, the wrestler over here, Charles Crowley. I don't know if you're aware, but he likes to eat lasagna with his hands. How do you feel about that?
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Like he's very famed for like just picking up a lasagna, like like one of the store ones you can get, and like just picking up with his hands and eating it like that.
Why would you do that? Just use a fork. Use a fork. Yeah.
We'll make sure he sees it. We'll make sure he knows. He knows that you've said this.
All right.
Love it. The next one is what is the song that gets you the most hyped?
I mean, I don't really listen to one particular song. I just listen to a whole mix where I find on YouTube. It's kind of like house and techno.
Nice.
So something that reminds me of when I'm working hard at the gym. Just something where I can feel that same feeling when going into the ring.
Yeah, get like blood pumping and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like reminiscing of my theme song, which starts with the Spanish guitar and it goes into hard techno. Just pump.
Yeah,
I need it. Yeah,
I love that. The next one is what is the movie that you show the locker room?
Scarface.
Yeah, great film. Great choice.
Scarface, and why? Because I want to educate people like Madison Marley.
Does that make you feel older? Because that would make me feel old, as in like they're too young because they don't even know. Like,
I mean, there's so many quotes, there's so many great moments in Scarface that you kind of like learn from it, and don't get high on your own supply. It really has a parallel to real life. So when it goes great, you got to stay humble. When it don't get high on your own supply, because everything can come crashing down. That is life. So yeah, I like Scarface.
Yeah, great movie and the life lesson.
Yeah,
love it. I love it. The next one's a bit of a throwback because it's what was your first job?
Bellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ding-a-ling,
Really?
can I take your luggage? Yeah, ding-a-ling.
That's the first time we've had someone say that. No one said that before. No one said any sort of hotel work before, I don't think. That's really cool. I mean,
That's me.
Yeah. How was it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't forever, but I went to school, so I didn't have time to work. So that's what it is. But I had a lot of fun because it was physical, and time was just flying by, and all of a sudden I had a lot of cash. So yeah.
I was going to say, and it clearly made you who you are today because that was the early muscle builder.
Yeah, I mean, like carrying luggage and going for a workout. I mean, I must have been the most sweatiest bellboy of them all. So
you still got the tips. You still got the tips after.
Oh yeah. I loved it. Yeah.
Brilliant. The next one gets a little deep because it's what is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I love that. I was not expecting that. That's brilliant.
To be honest, it's not Hunyadi Tomas. It's my greatest fear is to I guess it's the people closest to me if they got sick and would pass away. I think that's the biggest fear. I mean, that would be the one.
No, sure. I get that. Like life stuff is like, again, like I know that's why I say this one gets a little deep, but like life stuff is like too real sometimes, right? Like,
yeah.
It's
I guess like we're living in this world and this society where we're all stuck with stress and hard work and always going and all of a sudden if we lost somebody the time would stand still and I mean what would be left. It kind of puts an reflection on your life, what's important, if you know what I mean.
Yeah
So
no,
that would be my worst fear.
No, sure. I get that. I totally get that. Well, let's lift things back up with the next one, because the next one's it's your favorite animal.
A dog.
Yeah. Any particular type?
I would say just not an ugly dog. I mean, like I'm just being very honest and harsh, but I would say a Labrador.
Oh, Labrador, yeah, they're very cute. Yeah,
just so easy. I mean, just so easy. I would say those kind of animals. Maybe a monkey.
Yeah,
monkeys are cute as well.
Something with energy.
Yeah, just some where you can kind of play with it. Have a great time.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
The next one is what is your favorite place in the world?
Miami.
Yeah. Why Miami?
Once upon a time, I went to college, and one of the places that I went to was Miami. So I miss being in Florida. It kind of have that vibe where it's because I saw Scarface a long time ago. It kind of reminds me of that same vibe where you kind of chill and have that Miami vibe, and it also reflects on my gimmick. It's El Guapo, Scott Hall, Hey Chico, something like that.
Yeah,
and it fits me. Yeah,
I like it. But Miami, Copenhagen, similar places, right?
Not the weather, but the gold chain, the tranquilo life. I mean, you can do whatever you want. The beach, the flamingos, just the vibe, I guess. I mean, it kind of it talks to me. It speaks to me. The Miami vibe.
No, I love it. Well, the next one, I'm going to say you can't say Miami because you said it for this one, because the last one is your dream holiday destination. So maybe somewhere you haven't been.
I'm good. I was supposed to say a lot of crap. I mean, that's how I am. But let's just be honest. Sorry. I'm just gonna say it. Like
that's fine. You can say whatever. Like you can talk about like we're fine with it.
Just for a joke, I would say your house, but no. I mean,
you can if you want, but it's not very big. I live in like London, so it's tiny.
I would go to a place where I haven't been before. I would go to Brazil, Colombia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Real explorer type holiday. Is that like? Do you like to? Is that like? Are you a sort of explorer like holiday, or do you like to like chill?
I mean, I've never been to Colombia or Rio. I'm just an explorer. When I go to vacations, I don't really like to go to places where the museum is and everything. I just want to feel and befriend myself with a lot of new people. Just feel the vibe, and I feel like places like Rio de Janeiro or Colombia would fit me well.
Nice, I love that. I think I agree. I think I could see you there. I think you see that. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, now, El Guapo, Carlos Zamora, thank you so much for coming on the Grapple Theory podcast. It's been a pleasure having you here. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed it, because I talked a lot of crap, and then Hunyadi Tomas were coming for you.
I absolutely enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it. The talking crap episodes are honestly some of my favorites, so I think that is a very good time. Before I let you go, though, I've got one more question for you. But this isn't a question that was left by me. This is a question that was left by someone else, because we have a tradition here on the show where our last guest leaves a question for our next guest without any knowledge of who they're leaving it for. So this person didn't know you were coming on, didn't know that you're the person they were leaving the question for.
All right.
And you're not allowed to know who left you it either. So that's part of it as well. But the question you've been left, let's see if I can find it here. Okay, so this is a very deep one, a very existential one. So the question you've been left is, a creature not from Earth approaches you and invites you to come and see something far beyond anything you can imagine in your everyday existence. Would you want to see it or not?
What was the first part? I didn't get it. Sorry.
So like a creature from some other planet, some other world, some other galaxy comes to you and invites you to come and see something that like you can't even comprehend, something beyond your everyday existence.
All right.
Do you go with them and see that thing or not?
I accept.
Yeah?
I accept. I believe there's more to between heaven and earth.
I love that. And you'd want to know you'd want to know what that is.
I'll take the blue pill.
Yeah? That's good. I like it. I'm still not sure. I'm still on the fence. I don't know if I want to see it. I don't know. I don't know if I can handle it.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
You can do the seeing. I'll stay here. You can come back and report back. It'll be fine.
I will.
Brilliant. Well, I'll get your question for our next guest once we finish recording. But Carlos, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I do hope you enjoyed it again. And we always end the show by giving our guest the last word. So the final bit of promo time, Carlos Zamora, if someone sees you on a poster, on a show, on an event near them, at Body Slam, at Nordic, anywhere in Scandinavia, over here in the UK, anywhere else in Europe, anywhere else in the world, if someone goes to a show that Carlos Zamora is on, why is Carlos Zamora going to steal the show?
I want to steal places like, I want to go back to UK again. I want to do really great. I want to go places to Spain where I have my heritage as well. And hopefully one day it's going to be Japan or USA. And lastly, I just want to say, invest in yourself, invest in me, believe in me. And in Japanese, I would say, arigatou gozaimasu, takete ta san, one.